January is a common time for divorces, and they can, of course, have negative impacts on the entire family, which is prompting a new trend called nesting. A divorce attorney will join us live with details on that. Well, Steve, this month we've been talking a lot about divorces, which are certainly common in the month of January. And one push is to make sure that they minimize the negative impact on children. There's a new trend that's starting to emerge, and it's called nesting. Attorney Sondra Douglas joins us this morning. Sondra, thank you so much for joining us here on Fox 5.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. Before we get to nesting, which some people are opting to do, why are divorces so common this time of year?
And you know what, at Stein Sperling, my colleagues and I think about that, like why January? So to answer that question, you're coming straight out of the holidays. We just had that recent snowstorm, and people are just getting to the point where they have their new goals and they want to turn a new chapter in the next year. So January customarily is a time where more divorces are being filed, and we think it's because of wanting to start a new year, starting a new chapter. And close that older chapter, and also just after the holidays, confirmation that they need to move in a new direction.
And that new chapter may include nesting. So how does it work?
So, well, let me first, if I can share with you what nesting is. Nesting is when you have two co-parents reach an agreement and the children remain stable in the home while the parents rotate in and out of the home. So it's a very child-centered approach to keep the children stable, to keep the children in one place. They don't have to drag their items for school, or if you're parenting athletes, everything, their home base can remain their home base that they've been accustomed to. And the inconvenience is shifted to the adults rather than the children.
You outlined some of the benefits to it, certainly, but it's not suitable for all parents, all children, all families. So what are some of the limitations of nesting, if you will?
Absolutely. That's a great question. So it's not for everyone. It's not a cookie cutter fix. So I don't want people to think that, oh, I just can do nesting. It's important that you retain a attorney with experience who's drafted many of these agreements. And so if there's a history of domestic violence in the relationship, that's absolutely, nesting would not be a good consideration for that couple. You want to have good communication. You also want to have two parents that respect each other's boundaries, because as you can imagine, although they are rotating in and out of the home, there's still some shared spaces that they will be working within the home. So you want to make sure that there's a foundation of respect of boundaries, clear communication, clear schedules. And so that may be a challenge for many. Many may just want to move on with their life and not share the same space. So that in those situations, it would not be best for those types of people.
And from what you described, it sounds to kind of like a short-term solution, or maybe even a bridge to something more permanent.
Perfect. You described it perfectly. Absolutely. But you know what? There are those couples that come to Stein Sperling, and they do it for longer than we anticipate, and that works well for that specific family. But yes, it's usually a bridge, an interim arrangement. It's not a long-term arrangement. Some people may say, "Well, I'm getting a divorce for a reason, so I want to move out of the house." Permanently and not, cut all ties. So it is a short-term arrangement. However, there are those special situations where people remain and keep that nesting arrangement.
And there are so many other alternatives. I feel like we just scratched the surface here, Sondra. So for our viewers who need more information, or maybe want to pass it along to family and friends who they know are going through this situation, where can we stay in contact with you?
So you can reach us. Our website is www.steinsperling.com. Phone number 301-838-3222. 624. But you can find us there on all platforms, Instagram, LinkedIn, and Facebook. So please follow us. We would love to help you.
All right, Sondra, thank you so much for your expertise and your time. We appreciate it.
Thank you for your time, and thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.